Welcome back to Journal to Ear, and this is episode 12 on the series of Why Doesn't Anyone Talk About This? And we're going to be talking about the quiet grief of friendships that fade without closure. Welcome back to Journal to Ear. I'm a Rose, and today we are talking about a kind of heartbreak that almost nobody prepares us for. The friendships that simply disappear. There wasn't a huge fight, no dramatic ending, no final conversation, just silence. One day you were talking every day, and somehow you weren't. What's difficult isn't always losing the friendship, sometimes it's never knowing why. And today we're giving words to a grief that so many people carry quietly. We hear people talk about breakups, divorce, losing family, but very few people talk about losing someone who once knew your heart. A friend who celebrated your victories, who cried with you, who knew your secrets, who helped shape part of your life. When friendships end without explanation, your mind often starts writing stories. Did I say something wrong? Did I change? Were they pretending all along? Why wasn't I worth the conversation? Those unanswered questions can stay with us for years. One lesson I've had to learn is this: not every friendship is meant to last forever. Some people are assigned to a chapter, not the whole book. Some friendships help introduce you to the version of yourself you needed then. But when both people begin growing differently, the friendship may naturally change. That doesn't always make either person the villain. Sometimes people simply become different. Closure is comforting, it gives our hearts somewhere to place the ending. But many friendships never offer that. Instead, messages become shorter, plans stop happening, phone calls become months apart. Eventually, you realize you're the only one reaching out. And one day, you stop. Not because you stopped loving them, but because relationships can't survive when only one person is carrying them. That realization hurts. Friendship grief teaches us several things. Sometimes we outgrow people, sometimes they outgrow us. Sometimes life changes priorities: marriage, children, careers, healing, distance, mental health. Sometimes no one did anything wrong. Life simply pulled you in a different direction. And that's painful to accept because our hearts want someone to blame. Here's something I wish more people knew: you are allowed to grieve friendships. You're allowed to miss people who are still alive. You're allowed to remember the good without pretending the ending didn't hurt. Grief doesn't always require death. Sometimes it requires accepting that someone who once played a major role in your life no longer does. That's a real loss, and real losses deserve compassion. Instead of asking, why wasn't I enough? Try asking, what did this friendship teach me? How did I grow? What qualities do I want in future friendships? What boundaries have I learned? What kind of friend do I want to become? Healing begins when we stop chasing explanations and start embracing the lessons. If someone quietly walked out of your life, I hope you know this: not every unanswered question needs an answer to heal. Sometimes peace comes from accepting that you may never understand. Some people leave without explanation, but that doesn't erase the love that once existed. It doesn't erase the memories, and it certainly doesn't erase your worth. Your value has never been determined by who stayed, it's determined by who you continue becoming. Thank you for joining me today on Journal to Ear. If this episode reminded you of someone, or maybe even yourself, share it with someone who may be grieving a friendship in silence. Until next Wednesday, keep healing, keep growing, and keep listening to your own heart.